Alright, welcome back to Tenacious Viking Plays Banished. This is episode 3, and this episode will also be post-narrated, since I failed to get the settings correct on the stream. It's been a little while since I did this, so I'm going to have to kind of wait and see what's going on here. But we were doing pretty well. A little low on food, if I recall correctly. But things were kind of in place. We have a gatherer's hut. A hunting cabin, I believe, is open now. Let's see where we're at. Takes a while to load. Some cool graphics while it loads, though. It's one thing I like about Banished. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of food, although it's picking up. Kind of low on wood and firewood. I can never think of that word. All I can think of is woodcutter. It's the guy that does the firewood. And we're checking that. We've got our gatherer's hut and our forester lodge over there. Added the hunter's cabin. Okay, that's in place. Barely have a road to it, I think. We have a surprising amount of stone on hand since we had to build that dumb tunnel right away to get over here. Looking at an herbalist. I don't know how soon that's needed in the game, but I'm the nervous sort, so I like to put that in early. And as soon as you open a trading post, you open yourself to some diseases. One of the frustrating things about Banished is rain and snow. It's really hard to see what you're doing. It does, however, force you to get down to the surface and get close to your citizens, if you will. We're whipping through the seasons pretty fast. I think we may be at ×5, I'm not sure. Which is okay, because we're doing pretty well. Building a tailor, or built a tailor shop, and now we're putting a tailor in place. Getting a little low on coats. Anytime you're single digits in anything, that's kind of serious in this game. Lots of stuff going on. Getting trees. Boy, are we up to triple digits firewood? That's good. Yeah, we are. We're at capacity. Looks like we're at capacity on tools. That's good. You don't want to increase the capacity of manufactured goods, firewood, tools, coats, too fast, because it uses up too many raw sources. And that limits your ability to build more buildings and add more things. They're scattering, scurrying around, building the herbalist. That's who's there. I don't know what they call this building right offhand. Gathering some resources up here. There's a lot of stone and iron, and I want that out of the way anyway. So it's a good thing to get that collected. My intent is to build a building, gather more resources, build another building. We'll see how disciplined I am. Looking at the hunter doing quite well. Only 6 leather, but I think that picks up later on. The leather goes to the tailor to make coats. So those trees coming down. They say in the wiki and so on that if you have half of the foresters you need, the maximum, that you should be okay. You should at least have equilibrium in planting and cutting down trees. And that's worked out pretty well for me. I don't worry too much about trees once I get one forester's lodge here. We'll need to add another one though, as the population grows. Babies are being born, that's always a good sign. Now my bright idea here is to make room for the market by moving this road over, just jogging it over. If I would have been smart and given me a little room alongside that house, I could have moved the whole road over. I may do that yet. I may tear that down out. I'll tear that house down. Wow. And rebuild it one over. Which is also why I put a little space between houses in case I do dumb things like that. A little concerned with the number of people entering the labor force, that they'll be forming families and needing houses. So I want to kind of get ahead of the curve here and add a house or two, perhaps. I still haven't figured out if I can change the name of the colony or not. I just haven't had a chance to check it really. Some good area up here. Not a great area for gathering, but it would be a fine area for perhaps a quarry or a mine, or even some other buildings, some fields perhaps. I don't know. Yeah, I might want to put fields up here and also down farther and really concentrate this oxbow here, I think that's what you call it, with buildings. I don't know if that'll work or not. Farmers could live up on both top and bottom of the map. Maybe some of the other tradesmen could live in the middle. I don't know if that'll work or not. Okay, putting in the trading post. It's going to fit just beautifully right here. And we can bring that road around to go in front of it. Create a nice square. I'm going to pause it for now. A couple things being built, a house for sure. There we go. We get a road up here. I like to put those roads in right away because it does speed up the process of collecting materials and finishing a building. Plus it also helps me see the layout that I'm going to have. Again, my apologies for having to post-narrate this episode, but I didn't realize you had to check every single setting every single time on my software. So I've learned. Episode 4 will hopefully actually bring everything together. Episode 1, I had no game sounds. Episodes 2 and 3, I had no narration. So we'll try to pull it together. Still bugs me because I've worked in video production all my life, and I know better than that. We can make room for a mine right here. It's not the ideal place, but it'll work. Remember, I'm going to vacate this area as far as hunting and gathering anyway. So It'd be nice if you could get it to fit here, but it just doesn't quite work. Just one spot that this will work. So I'm just going to have to take it, put it down there, we'll pause it. And when we start to run out of iron and don't have any more loose resources, surface resources, we'll build that, open that up. There's a lot of good stone down there too that I'll have to get. Here's the quarry. That'll fit in here. Can make that work. And that's about all I'm going to get out of this. Maybe I can squeeze another quarry in later on. Okay. Plopped it down and paused it. So those will be put in when they're needed. But first I'm going to have to start a gatherer's hut, a forester's lodge, and a hunting cabin in the south eastern corner, I guess, of the map. It scares me every autumn when the leaves disappear. It's like, what happened to all the trees? But they're all there. And the forester lodge, of course, replants as they cut. So it'll be okay. I'll be all right. With sim games like this, I typically move real slowly at first, and then I get kind of bored and just kind of frustrated because nothing happens. And so then I speed it up, and then I make a mistake. And it's a big mistake because it happened for a long time before I got it stopped. So again, we'll see how disciplined I am. My goal for this game is 300 citizens. I think it should be pretty easy to get. Oh boy. I'm so setting myself up. Because I really like this map. It's a middle-sized map, plus it's just arranged well, and I should be able to get 300 in here. If I plan it right, if I run it right. That's the whole challenge, isn't it? As you can see, I kind of like the God view most of the time. Just sitting above everybody, watching over, controlling everything. That's what I do. I still want to get that town hall built too. It's especially important to have built as soon as the trading post is done, because you will get nomads arriving. And that will add population to your city rather quickly. It's nice to have laborers, but it's really scary to have a lot of extra people using food, needing houses. Also need to get a boarding house up when I get that trading post open and get the town hall up. Those three kind of go together. I really need to get my marketplace in before I open that trading post even. That looks like that will be a priority for episode 4. So now all of a sudden I have like, what, 4 or 5 buildings I need done, and not enough people to do that. It's going to be tricky. Also, if I'm going to open up an area to the southeast, I'm going to need some more housing down on that corner. And some more housing a little, well, close to the tunnel, I suppose. I don't think I want to put any houses right inside here. My plans for that area are to have it a pretty dusty, dangerous area I don't know if it matters, but I don't like putting people, in SimCity. I don't put houses or residences near industrial areas. I at least put a business buffer in between. See what else we can get built and what other resources. See, now we're running low on stone again. I think I've used up most of them here. I'm going to check routes to work. These aren't too bad here. Medium distance. Medium to short distance, maybe. I don't know what that's a shortage of. Can't read it on my small preview screen. But most everything you need is in progress. Certainly the wood should be good. The firewood, food is doing pretty well. We've got the tools we need. We're at maximum of that. We don't have enough leather to make coats, but we've got double-digit coats, so we're doing pretty well there. It's the stone and the iron right now at this stage of the game, and that's just going to be kind of rare. You have to keep finding areas where there is some. If you check off too big or mark too big an area at once to gather that, then they're not available to do any building or anything else that needs to be done. So it's a balancing thing, but that's what makes it fun for me and hopefully for you too. Other than messing up the connections, if there's something you see that screwing up, or something you'd like to see, something you have questions about, put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. My intent for the future is to stream an episode, at least one episode, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, at about 8:30 Central Time. We'll see how well that goes. I know there will be days when I won't be able to do that, but that's my goal. I'm trying to get ahead a little bit so that I can release at least YouTube episodes. I'm streaming these in individual episodes with beginnings and ends so that I can just clip them and move them to YouTube and post them there on my YouTube channel. Doing well, next big concern is going to be a steady supply of stone and iron. And then having the patience to wait until those resources are gathered before you order buildings. Those notification symbols above the buildings are a little hard to see. I have them set a little bit transparent, but I'll probably make them less transparent. Hopefully they'll be easier to see. Somebody died. We'll be winding up pretty soon. Episode 4, I think the priority is going to be a marketplace. Maybe even before I open the trading post. It just doesn't help, I don't think, to have a trading post without a marketplace. I like that the marketplace will be close to the trading post, and so will one of the storage barns. Sometimes waiting for inventory to get moved to the trading post is a real hassle and a real problem. It takes a lot of people and it takes a lot of time. So I think that'll work out very well. Okay, gathering some more resources here. That's important, and I think we've about got everything gathered from this area. I might check that, just a big, large area, mark it all, and see if there's anything left. I see there's one stone way down at the bottom of the screen. Then we'll move into that area to the east, to the right, that we're going to eventually use for quarries and mines anyway, and just gather all the surface stone and iron, clean that up. Nearing the end of this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it despite the technical problems, and watch for episode 4 and subsequent episodes. Help me build Valhalla, or Valhalla as it's named right now, to a city of 300. A lot of potential and a lot of things we can do with this area. I think 300 is going to be a pretty reasonable goal. Alright, we're pausing to assess where we're at. Doing well on food, wood, and firewood. Stone is the biggest challenge right now. And getting all 3 of those buildings at once. Marketplace, trading post, town hall, actually 4, and a boarding house are going to be the challenge. Hope you enjoyed, and join us for episode 4.